Hey guys, Into the End here, back with another video. Today I'm going to do some gameplay videos with the updated version of the Armory deck, with the inclusion of Tavert, of course. Now, because this deck has existed for a very long time, and there has been no revolutionary changes to the deck, my version is very close to other stock versions. Maybe a very minor change of the number of cards here and there, but I'm not going to spend any time doing a deck tech for this because I don't think it's needed. For those of you who are interested in learning more about this deck or is new to the game and have never really played Armory before, I would actually recommend a guide that was written by, give me a second here, by TonyGeeeees, who is a very good player, one of the top players in Eternal, who have been kind of a specialized expert in the Armory deck. This guide that he wrote is slightly outdated. This is before the inclusion of Tavert, but he goes through a very in-depth explanation of the deck, several versions over time, and tons of tricks, and there's just a ton of very useful insights and information in this guide. I highly recommend you check it out. I can later, I can post a link to this guide in the description in the video, but you can also just Google it. You can just type in Eternal Armory Guide, and this is one of the first results that you'll find. So because of that, I'm going to leave the deck tech to him. The only thing I want to talk about in this deck is that I changed the very common Rise to the Challenge package, where people have 2 or 3 copies of Rise to the Challenge and a toolbox of kind of one-off units for specific situations. They're like silver bullets, you know, like the... I don't remember the name of the card, but it's 4/3. It destroys an attachment when it comes to play. It's red, or maybe Stewards of the Past or Statutory Maidens, stuff like that to deal with a graveyard or void and entomb shenanigans. I've chosen not to do that and actually played 4 copies of Sabotage, and that is the only difference between my deck and most other Armory decks out there. I think that right now, Sabotage is at its best. There are far too many decks that runs a huge number of relic weapons or just weapons. And because every deck is trying to fight Taverts, they're loaded with removal spells. So this has a lot of targets to hit from your opponent's deck. And we all know that if Tavert sticks for 2 or 3 turns, you most likely win the game. So having maybe a Sabotage in your hand to play the turn before you play Tavert to protect it is good enough to warrant the inclusion of this card, even though it is risky when you don't hit anything, even though it's rare. And also, this may be a very bad top deck late in the game. Okay, so with that said, here's my deck list. I'm not going to go through any of the cards. It's super stock, and we're going to jump right into the games. Personally, I believe Armory is one of the best decks at the moment. I think Chalice has always been one of the best decks. I don't think it's ever been not good. But I think Armory has really climbed to the top of the tier list because of the inclusion of Tavert. We're gonna have to mulligan this. Actually, no, we can't. We don't need to. I think this hand's good enough. We can play every spell in our hand, and all we need is to draw a couple of lands. I think this is fine. Having 2 Torch and the Sabotage as 1-drops does make a really big difference. Oh, we're playing against a Life Force deck. Too many torches, not great. I do like to draw some power. We are gonna go ahead and torch this. This card this card typically plays too big of a role in Life Force decks, but we don't need to do it this turn. We can do it next turn because the only Life Force card that matters a lot starts at 4 mana. So let's just go ahead with a Sabotage, get rid of his only removal spell, so that we know that when we play a unit, it's gonna stick. I do need to draw power though, very important. Okay, so we've chosen to play the Acolyte instead of possibly something like an Iron. So we draw a power, that's great. We're going to play the Recon Artisan first, because it blocks just as well It trades just as well as the sword. And also playing this buffs my next weapon by 1, but getting the Warcry trigger also buffs my next weapon by 1, so it's actually the same. So he's chosen not to trade with me. I'm okay trading 2 cards for his Sandstorm Titan and take some damage here. The alternative play is I could actually just double torch the Titan and then torch these as well and keep the sword around. But I don't think I'm going to get too much more mileage out of the sword anyway, so... Because in order to keep the sword in play, I would be forced to torch these 2/1s so that I can use the sword on his 1/1s, 1/2s 1 extra time, but I just don't think that's worth it. I would actually rather just have the additional torch in my hand. Okay, 3 damage is fine, we'll take it. So this is not really a Life Force deck, this is just a Zenin deck, the good stuff deck. But it's also very weird to play a Zenin good... Well, no, it's 3 colors. It's really weird to play a Dark Combrade deck. But then also play with Sanctuary Priest. Like, this is a card you generally don't want to play unless you have a lot of Life Force payoff cards. So, it's a little weird. So, we have a lot of outs in our deck. A big unit would do it. A Harsh Rule would do it, unless he has a Stand Together in his hand. Basically any unit would do it. Land won't do it. This is holding back 2 units, so I'm actually perfectly happy doing that and not trading it. I don't want to use 2 torch on the 2/5. I don't want to use the torch on the 1/1 either. I think I can play with my life a little bit more and drag it out a few more turns. That might be a little greedy, but I'm not going to use the torch here. Oh, alright then. It's 8 power sources and 8 cards, yes, but these cards not good against what my opponent has. Yeah, we'll make this trade. He's gonna play a powerful 6-drop now. No, he's not. So my opponent is just holding on to an entire handful of removal spells, I'm guessing. Because if he had anything useful, like Stand Together, he would have just cast it there, I think. Alright, I have now a Smuggler Stash for 2 spells. I'm still gonna do it, because I got absolutely nothing else going on. Okay, so this will let me block one of the 1/1s and take 3, go to 5. He has a removal spell, so I'm taking 4 next turn. Oh, our Finest Hour. That's what he has. Wait, no, he doesn't. Why was there a pause at the end of my turn? Let's take a look. So that was a pretty miserable top deck. So he has all removal spells. Oh, well, that's fine. We'll just torch this thing. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, I learned something new. You can torch it, but it still redirected it, so... That's most unfortunate. Alright, well... Alright. Now I'm in a lot of trouble. Wow. Okay. That was... very suboptimal draws. My opponent's draw was not good. His deck should be a lot better than this. So my opponent didn't draw well, but we drew worse. The Sabotage would have been quite good if I actually drew some units. Almost all of my units dodges Annihilate, so getting rid of the 2 Slays in his hand would have been good enough. Like if I had drawn a Tavert that game, he would have definitely lost that game. Just 1 copy of Tavert would have done it. I don't have any red power here. But because we have... Oh, wait a minute. I can't play either of the quarries. Well, that's too bad. Would that mistake cost me the game? Maybe not. We got lucky. So I punted and kept the hand without any red power. Wasn't paying enough attention. But luckily, my opponent didn't do anything. And we drew a seek power. So, yeah. Make mistakes, get rewarded. Not a lot of decks run Trailblaze, so this is definitely more of a mid-range to a late-game deck here. I didn't use the quarry because I'm not sure what I could have quarried into. That is a better play than having the sword hitting a 1/1 and attacking for 2. And that allows me to have a second use of the sword. I think, yeah, there's nothing I could have quarried into that would make me change that play. Sabotage or the banner? I think because we have Vicaria in our hand, we're just gonna go and hunt for lands. Because Icaria is pretty good against removal spells anyway, so we're not super desperate to have a removal spell. To strip a removal spell from their hand. This is an interesting one. Theirs Favor gives us the land that we need to play Icaria, but I think I'll naturally draw one over the next 3 turns. So let's just go ahead and take the Recona Artisan here. And we'll even play it. So the plan is to play this next turn depleted and hopefully draw another power to play Icaria in 2 turns' time. If he had a 1 health unit, I may have considered keeping the Vera's Favor because I can kill the unit, but because there were 2/2s and 3/3s, I didn't think keeping the Vera's Favor was worth it. Just using it to draw a land wasn't good enough. That's fine. Oh, another one. Alright. Good stuff. I'll gladly trade. I should have attacked before I play a spell. That was just me getting lazy. So don't do that, guys. Always attack and then play your spells and your land power source. Because it gives my opponent a little bit more information. I'm making a lot of mistakes today. I think I'm on autopilot. It's also from a lack of sleep. I went to bed really late last night and woke up quite early today. Alright, that gives us exactly what we need. So against this kind of deck, the card that we have to watch out for is possibly a Scorpion Wasp, which can kill Icaria. Oh, he's thinking if you want to play the Desert Marshal to block. But he's probably want the Desert Marshal to use to draw a card with the Chalice. Or maybe he has another copy of Trailblaze. But I suspect he has a Desert Marshal. That will allow him to trigger the Aegis off Icaria and then possibly silence it on the following turn. So this is kind of frightening. He's not doing anything. I'm still going to do it, but with the sinking suspicion that he'll have a 1/1 Deadly Wasp trading with my Icaria here. Oh well. It's still just a 1-for-1 trade. At least he doesn't get to draw a card off of his Wasp. And I do have 2 Smuggler stashed. That will be very good right about now. Oh, he's got 2 Wasps. Alright. My opponent is very patient though. He knew Icaria was a threat and he just held the Wasps turn after turn after turn. So I can either kill the Tempo Scribe so he doesn't have a unit to draw a card and hope he doesn't have another unit, even though he does have 4 cards in his hand, and that's very unlikely. Or I can just go ahead and kill the 3/3 flyer, which is going to be a problematic thing anyway at some point. But right now, I don't have anything that I'm... Because if I have a Tavert in my hand, then I would definitely torch this so I can attack. But because I don't, I'm actually just going to go ahead and do this so he can't draw a card. And I'm going to take the 3 damage from the Scorpion Wasp, and I worry about it when I do draw a unit that cares about it. There's a lot. I don't have a lot of units in my deck, and there's a lot of cards that I can draw, like weapons, for example, that don't care about the Wasp being deadly. So it is in fact true that he doesn't have any units to play. So that's really good for us. Let's just go ahead and offer the trade. So the question is, do I offer the trade here, or do I just kill it and attack him? I think I just go ahead and kill it and attack him for 3. 3 of the armor off of this 10 armor weapon is okay. So he's got plenty of ambush units to play, but I do have another removal in my hand. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so we'll kill it, and then we'll attack him for 3. And I am going to use the Slay on here. I don't think the Slay is going to get too much better. That deck doesn't run very many other must-kill units. I think the best thing he can draw is Chthon, or Chthon, however you pronounce it. So he's got a handful of ambush units. Yeah, so the Slay isn't going to get any better. Yep, that's fine. I can still attack him, killing it off. So I'm applying a lot of pressure with this Sword of Icaria. That's even better because it only takes... This thing only has 1 attack. So it's actually... Oh, nope. Nope, never mind. It has 3 attack. Of course, how can I forget about the Chalice? So let's just go ahead and kill this. And... how sure are we that he has a Harsh Rule in his hand? I think the odds of him having a Harsh Rule is really high, but I'm also okay forcing him to use 5 power to play the Harsh Rule. So let's just go ahead and do that. And we're going to attack him for 3. At the risk that he kills the 6/8 and then attacks us down to 1. I think that's a risk worth taking. I do want to apply more pressure because my opponent has 5 cards. Yeah, so he's just going to Harsh Rule. He draws a card, Harsh Rules. I hit him for 11 next turn, bring him to 4. He'll have 2 power after the Harsh Rule, so he can play another ambush unit, another Desert Marshal. And he's only played 2 so far, so he should have 2 more in his deck. Yeah, so Harsh Rule. When I use the sword, he plays a Desert Marshal. They trade. Oh no, he doesn't have a Harsh Rule. He's kind of screwed then, isn't he? Oh no, I missed. That's not good. Oh geez, that's the worst thing that could have happened. Oh no. Oh no. I have to do it, otherwise he just attacks me and I lose my sword. So now my best draw is Smuggler's Stash. I think a Smuggler's Stash would win me the game very easily, but I can't believe I missed. Oh man. Oh, it's a Nekobones deck. It's not... Oh, it's a Chalice deck, but... Oh. Yes, please don't have Backlash. Oh, jeez. I should have played the land last turn. If I did, I could have basically killed him this turn if I played the land last turn. Yeah, if I played the Sigil last turn, I could have killed him this turn. That's... Is that an error? Should I have played the land out last turn? I guess I should have. I could have considered the possibility. Because I was saying that Smuggler's Stash is my best draw, so I should have also considered the fact that if I had it, I should be playing the Sword of Icaria. So that's okay. None of these are important, right? So he's drawing random cards, so he needs to randomly draw a removal that beats this. He also needs to draw a random removal that beats this. I think it's tall. I think it's a tall order. We'll play the sword next turn. We'll kill his flyer, and then we'll swing in the air with the Ikaria. Nope, we can't. We don't have enough power. Jeez. So which one do we play? Well, we play the Auric Broker no matter what. So the question is, do I play the big sword or the little sword? If I play the big sword, I kill this. I can block 2 units. Yeah, that seems good. I'll kill the flyer. Does he have another Desert Marshal in his hand? Oh, I made a mistake. I should have played the sword and killed his flyer first in case he has another Desert Marshal, in which case he will be forced to use it, and then I could protect my Tavert from it. In the way I played it, it was a mistake because he could have silenced the Tavert and took the damage from the Sword of Ikaria with a single Desert Marshal. And then he would have a 3/2 flying unit to hit me for 3 next turn. So I'm not thinking these plays through enough. I realized the mistakes after I've made them. So he's drawing 3 cards a turn, but he's drawing random cards. And he's never going to have more than 9 power. And our hand is really powerful, so I think, wow, interesting. Our hand's very good, so I think we have a good shot at winning over the next 2 or 3 turns. We will kill the Deadly Spider, so that we can attack with Tavern next turn. Wait, what special abilities do these things have? Well, these have nothing, but this thing is Flying Quick Draw. Okay, so let's kill the Deadly Spider first. And then we smash. So he has to chump block here, or he just dies. I think the best weapon for me to get right now is actually the Daisho, which allows me to clear multiple units. That's more than fine. I can't imagine how my opponent comes back from this. Both of these units are very difficult to remove, and he's drawing random cards. The odds of him hitting a removal that beats these, not very high. Unless he kept a Harsh Rule in his hand from, like, before he played the Chalice. But I think he still dies because this sword does 9 damage. And he's at 9. And this hammer does 12 damage. I wonder if he randomly drew this Desert Marshal, or is that one of the cards that he had in his hand. Wow, this card's very good. But the good news is, I have a Vanquish in my hand. Actually, let's just torch this. And that's lethal. Oh wow. If that's not lethal, this certainly is lethal. Alright. I've outgrind the grindiest of the grindiest decks. This is Chalice and Knucklebones deck. Yeah, and we even fought through multiple Scorpion Wasps, 3 copies of Desert Marshals. He never drew Harsh Rule though. Okay. So I think we're 1-1, right? Was that the second game? So let's play one more game and then play the next games in a separate video. Ooh, all these spiders crawling out of it. I'd never noticed. So I'm missing red here. And I think that's... Yeah, we need to redraw this. Okay, this is great. We have 3 power, access to all colors. This is going to fetch us the justice that we need. I never realized that at the beginning of the game, lots of little spiders crawl out of this totem. That looks amazing. Or is it because this is an upgraded version of the totem? What does it do? Alright, let's get back to the game at hand. Okay, so the animation appears to be the same. Oh, look at all the spiders coming out of it. Gross. Oh, that's really gross. Oh, okay. let's get back to the game at hand. We'll swing in for 2. We're not going to Vera's favor this turn, I don't think. Because even if we had fetched a Shadow Sigil, that still doesn't let us play the Auric Runehammer. So there's nothing in my hand that I can't play next turn, regardless of whether or not I get a land. So, I mean, this I can't play either way, so now I can Torch and Vera's favor this thing, or I'm just going to offer the trade and then Torch it. Wow, he is gutsy. Alright. Seems like a fine trade to me. So that tells me that my opponent has a lot of good cards in his hand. He's not afraid to trade away the cards like these. So he's probably got plenty of powerful units. Alright, I think now I really need my second green. And I really need more power. So the best possible draw next turn will be a banner that has green, or just straight up a green sigil. That would be my best draw. My opponent has infinite findaways. This is some kind of big mana deck. Alright, well, my opponent has a harsh rule in his hand, I'm sure of it. But I'm not gonna just sit back and do nothing against a deck that looks to ramp. Decks that looks to ramp do gross, unfair things at the end of the game. So we can't just sit here and let him build up his mana. Okay. I would have definitely silenced the Tavert first and then vanquished it, because this deck runs a Smuggler's Stash. So my opponent has made a mistake. Because there's no point in silencing the Rakano Artisan, right? Alright. I can kill it, but he does get a card out of it. Let's just go ahead and do that. And attack him for 6. So my opponent is slowly getting into near-death territory here. We're still missing 2 fire and 1 justice to be able to play Ikaria if we draw it. But other than that, we can play every other card in our deck. Okay. That's fine. So we will slay this, Vera's favor this, and attack. That's... Sure. That looks like a bug. Okay, if we can hit him one more time with either of these, then we beat him. Guess not. Let's take a look. Alright, let's query again. Can we get a removal spell? Getting the seat sets us up for drawing Ikaria. But even then, we still have to draw the Ikaria, which is only 2 in the deck, and we have to draw another fire. Whereas the Sabotage, let's just take a look at his hand. Okay, so we can't really beat the Great Parliament, but we can beat the Harsh Rule, so let's get rid of that. So my question is... So if I attack, he's definitely going to block. Then I can kill him with a hammer. That leaves me with a torch in hand. Alternatively, I can torch this and hammer it and attack him for 2, and that leaves me with a Rakano Artisan in play. So what's better? I'm just going to go ahead and keep the Rakano Artisan in play, because this is a repeatable source of damage, and this may cause him to use his Harsh Rule. Oh no, he's a blocker. Why didn't he block the hammer then? Alright, so I have nothing, and he has 6 cards. Things are not looking good. A Smuggler's Stash is my best draw, as usual. Alright, we'll take the Vanquish. Maybe I should play with more copies of Smuggler's Stash. I seem to want it a lot. Oh geez, my opponent has way too many good late game cards. But he doesn't have a land to play, ironically enough, with all those finder paths. Oh no. Now it's getting out of hand. Okay, I think I'm dead. There's not a lot of cards I can draw in my deck that can let me come back. The Smuggler Stash might be too slow. It's a start. Okay, so if we draw another hammer to kill this, then I'm okay. Assuming he has nothing else in his... Oh, no. I need something that can kill an 8/8, so a Vanquish or a Slay. None of the other weapons will do it. Seat certainly won't, so that's lethal when he plays a land next turn. I think that's good enough for us to concede. He does have 7 cards in hand, so... Yeah, that deck went too big at the late game. Despite being a bit of a mid-range control deck, Armory doesn't have a tremendous amount of card draw and late game card advantage, except for the Smuggler Stash and the active Tavern. So, ooh, no green, gross. I find that in my, I don't know, between the last 4 months, 100 games with an Armory, maybe at the most, I find that there are many games where you've got an empty hand and you're just top decking and hoping to draw and do something good. So that's actually kind of a common thing for this deck. So I need one more green to be able to play Tavern on turn 5. So I would really like to draw a Seek Power or just any kind of green power. Benjamin. A Zenin deck. There's been a lot of Zenin decks running around. I'm not quite sure why. It's not... Oh, vanished. Nice. Zenin decks are fine, but I don't think they're tier 1. I definitely don't think they're tier 1. I will offer the trade here. I mean, I will accept the trade. He's the one offering the trade, and I'm the one taking it. That's fine. Perfect. So this turn we slay this. Next turn we play Tavern. I do want to slay this because it blocks Tavern and trades with it, and also I do hope that I can Smuggler Stash some of these back later on. I'm assuming he has removal spells to get rid of this. Although, when I sabotage him, he didn't. Alright, well, let's see if he drew one over the last 3 turns. If he didn't draw one over the last 3 turns, he's in a lot of trouble. Yeah, because no matter what he plays, I can vanquish this, attack, and then hopefully get a weapon, and then he's pretty much toast. Alright. Bam. Good luck. It's a filthy... Oh no, this is such a filthy feeling. Oh, it's just filthy. If he can't even remove the first one, he is definitely not going to remove the second and the third one. And I think this game is definitely over. I can't think of too many crazy cards in Zenin that can let him come back from this. Let's see what he's got. Oh, Azendo's Gift would be pretty good. It's so filthy. Well, because I can't play any of these cards, let's just start with the Quarry. Oh, gross. We'll take the Slay over the Sword of Vicaria, because we're planning to do this. Yep. Oh man, this is so filthy. Look at this hand. Oh, this is such a filthy hand. Oh, now I have enough to play a Karya as well. Alright. I think it's time to concede. I wouldn't be surprised if my opponent concedes here. Oh, I missed. Doesn't happen very often. I do have a lot of hits. I'm perfectly fine doing this, because even though I have a 5-7 that can block, and he can't attack me, I have so many good weapons, or, well, I have one other good weapon. I have so many cards that I can play that I don't mind trading this at all. Yeah, definitely don't mind. So he's gonna go 9-7 because he's gonna use the slug. Yep. Yeah, I slay this, sword this, then I win. Alright, let's take a look at his hand. Annihilate doesn't do anything against my entire deck. We'll slay this. We'll sword a Courier this. And it's game. Yep, and that is the power of Tavrod. Uncontested that card takes over a game very quickly. I didn't even have to play the second and third copy. Alright, so let's end the videos here and record the next game separately. Thanks for watching.